उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes, so we are starting with
Number
which
3,
verse
Prabhuji.
is that?
Text 3.
3. 3.
Oh,
Please.
3, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Prajanam Pitaro Ye Cha.
Prajanam Pitaro Ye
Prajanam
Cha.
Pitro Yecha.
Shastarah Sadhavah Samah.
Shastaraha Sadhava
Shastra
Samah.
Sadhva Sama.
Yadi Syah Teshu Vaishamyam.
Yadi
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 Syateshu
Syateshu
Vaishamyam.
Vaishamyam.
Kamayanti Sharanam Praja.
Tam
Kamyanti
Yanti Sharanam
Sharanam
Praja.
Praja.
Yeah,
May I read
would you
to
like to read? Yes, please.
Thank you. Translation. A king or governmental official should be so well qualified that he acts as the father, maintainer, and protector of the citizens because of affection and love. He should give the citizens the good advice and instructions according to the standard scriptures and should be equal to everyone. Yamaraj does this, for he is the supreme master of justice, and so do those who follow in his footsteps. However, if such persons become polluted and exhibit partiality by punishing an innocent, blameless person, where will the citizens go to take shelter for their maintenance and security? Purport. The king, or in the modern times, the government, should act as the guardian of the citizens by teaching them the proper goal of life. The human form of life is especially meant for realization of one's self and one's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because this cannot be realized in animal life. The duty of the government, therefore, is to take charge of training all the citizens in such a way that by a gradual process they will be elevated to the spiritual platform and will realize the self and his relationship with God. This principle was followed by the kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, Lord Ramachandra, Maharaj Ambarish, and Prahlad Maharaj. The leaders of the government must be very honest and religious, because otherwise all the affairs of the state will suffer. Unfortunately, in the name of democracy, rogues and thieves are electing the other rogues and thieves to the most important posts in the government. Recently, this has been proven in America, where the president had to be condemned and dragged down from his post by the citizens. This is only one case, but there are many others but there are many others. Because of the importance of the Krishna consciousness movement, people should be Krishna conscious and should not vote for anyone who is not Krishna conscious. Then there will be actual peace and prosperity in the state. When a Vaishnava sees mismanagement in the government, he feels great compassion in his heart and tries his best to purify the situation by spreading the Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. See, so we have discussed this verse many times in the past also, but it is very important. Its importance can never be understated. We have seen this in the last canto. Gurur nasasyat swajano nasasyat. Pita nasasyat janani nasasyat. Daivam natatsyan na patischa chasasyan na mochayedya samupetya mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. See, the position of a king is also like that of a demigod. So, the leader of the government, see, according to Varnashram Dharma, the whole society is arranged around self realization. Dharma sunishtita pumsham vishwaksenu kathasaya. Katha notpadayed yadi ratim sham evahi kevalam. So, what is sunishtita? What is this dharma sunishtita? It is Dharma Sanishtita is the dharma, Varnashram dharma. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, husband, father, mother, king. All these are Sanushtita dharma. They are like predetermined dharma. So if one gets married, then he is automatically the spiritual master to his wife. If one has children, one is automatically the spiritual master to the children. So these are predetermined dharmas, predetermined duties. So in the head of the government is in charge of the varnashram. So naturally he has to take one-sixth of the karma also. So if he is taking the karma, he better ensure that his dependents are going back to Godhead. Actually, in this material world, our life is very limited. We have very little time. 50 years is at most our useful life. And those years are also wasted in chasing unnecessary materialistic pursuits. So if one spends so much time, like we see in today's age, 70, 80, 90-year-old politicians are fighting for positions. They're practically on the verge of death. After 70, death is any moment. It's like almost any moment death can come. And still we see old men are fighting to become this and that. So today, democracy, Prabhupada used to call it demon crazy. So this is demon crazy, really, because most of the people are like demons. So all of these people are like unnecessarily creating disturbance in each other's affairs, and no one really understands the objective of human life. So old men are just trying to improve the economic situation, political situation, unnecessarily killing each other. I was just reading one of the articles yesterday by one devotee that actually the king should be so intelligent that he can immediately understand and dispense justice. Today we have a written constitution and written laws. So that is actually nonsense. Because the judges, like Prabhupada writes, that you can just bribe a judge and get your judgment. In the age of Kali, you need to have money if you want justice. And if you have the money, you can get justice the way you want it. So that is all demonic. This is all like nonsense. So this kind of a system is actually sinful. One will actually just descend to hell. But today, modern day judges, courts, the Supreme Court, the High Court, all these are nonsense. Because real, Dharma Samhita is Manu Samhita. According to Manusmriti, one should act. But today we have Criminal Procedure Act, we have Indian Police Code, Indian Police Act, we have Criminal Procedure Code, we have so many, laws and codes, and no one really understands. Eventually, you just bribe and you can get your work done. So all this is condemned, actually, according to the Dharma Shastras. So what should the devotees do in such a circumstance? Now, this is Kali Yuga. The people are demon, their leaders are also demons. So the only thing a devotee can do is spread the Sankirtan. So he tries his best to purify the situation by spreading the Hare Krishna movement. Actually, in the age of Kali, Kalera dosha nidhe rajan. There is nothing that can be done. Kalera dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahan guna. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sangha param braje. So in this age of Kali, actually there is nothing we can do except chanting of the holy names. So all this efforts to, rectify the political situation or economic situation by devotees is shramevahi kevalam. It's useless effort. So anyone who tells you that this one should participate in government or this or that is actually not understanding what Prabhupada is saying here. Srila Prabhupada is very clear that today's time is like completely degraded now. There's nothing we can do. Actually, there was a time when devotees tried to float a political party in the US, and it failed, of course, because everyone is a demon, so you can't really thrive in such a circumstance. And Prabhupada is here is referring to this is 1974 when Prabhupada is writing this. So this is about the impeachment of Nixon, who was caught in so many scandals, and eventually he resigned and the case was shut down. But we can see that this is the kind of rascal governments we live in. So we can't say that this political party or that political party or this president, that president is going to help us. That is all nonsense, all complete nonsense. A devotee cannot like it, especially in India. India is such a degraded country, so fallen that there is no government which can do anything, because animal slaughter is so widespread in India. Animal slaughter and illicit sex in the name of this Bollywood. But we cannot do anything. The best we can do is just spread the Sankirtan movement. India is still, is a part of Bharatvarsh. Incidentally, Prabhupada never considered India to be Bharatvarsh. Prabhupada considered the whole world to be Bharat and India to be a part of it. So, so yes, so India still is the most pious part of Bharatvarsh. So people are readily able to accept Krishna consciousness. So we should take this opportunity and spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya by Sankirtan and book distribution, not by trying to create some political situation or some feminism or thisism or thatism. All that is nonsense. So we should avoid all such stuff. Rather, we should spend our time in trying to spread this mission of the Lord. जारे देखा तारे कहा कृष्णोपदेश हमारा आज्ञा है गुरु तारा है ही देश. That's what we should be doing. Hare Krishna. Yes, any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just can you clarify this line which Prabhupada is saying? People should be Krishna conscious and should not vote for anyone who is not Krishna
Ah,
conscious.
okay. So,
Because on one hand, he also says that you should not get involved in politics. So what's the point of
which
writing
line is that,
this?
Prabhu?
No, but I mean in general, when in his conversations and
Oh,
stuff,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So he
he
never
used to say that.
advocated
Yeah,
democracy.
yeah.
See, it's like this. The king is usually hereditary. So,
Hmm.
if it's like Kuru Vansh, so naturally some Kuru Vanshi will become the king. That's the heredity. So, there in that case, the son who's born into that family is all naturally obliged to be the king. And that means he's naturally obliged to take the sinful reactions of the praja. Now, in
Hmm.
democracy, there is no hereditary king, there is no succession. So, someone is elected. So, this election means that we are giving the power to this man, we are putting him in that position. So naturally, one who is putting someone in position of power also becomes responsible for his karma. So if we are voting for a political leader, we are also responsible for his actions.
Hmm.
So imagine like a prime minister of India. So in India, like a million animals are killed every day. So the prime minister is taking 1/6 of that karma. And suppose he wins by say 1 crore votes. So 1/1 crore is our reaction also. So if 1 crore animals are killed, then one animal's killing reaction at least we are getting. So that's quite dangerous. At least I wouldn't want to do that. Or if this, so much of irreligion is going on in India, for example. So all of that is like Prime Minister's responsibility, and we become responsible for him. So we also take that responsibility. That's the reason why we should avoid voting. Not that we like this political party or we hate that political party. No, I mean, we don't want to get karmically implicated in something which is beyond our control. We are taking karma for something over which we have no control. So therefore, Prabhupada never voted. Like Prabhupada was once asked, who's Prabhupada? Like one devotee asked Prabhupada, should we do it as a duty? Prabhupada said, you can vote if you want, but I never voted. So Prabhupada never voted in his life. So Mahajanayena gata sapantha. So we should be very careful. Dharma is very complex. Anything can go wrong. We should never be arrogant enough to think that we know the best. No, we should be very, very particular. And in case where we are in doubt whether the action is good or not, we should think from the perspective of Krishna consciousness. Is this going to benefit? And if we think the answer is no, then it's better to refrain.
Yeah. So then,
Then-
so
Yes.
voting is the actual act that we get.
Hmm.
But then,
Yeah.
if some people don't vote and then still they are supporting
Hmm.
the political parties, let's say,
Hmm.
they will also take the karma, no?
Yeah, in a sense, because they are mentally giving support.
Right?
So you see, we see the example of Indra.
Hmm.
Indra was supported by women, by water, by trees, and by land.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how this applies to modern democracy, but I would rather not take a chance on that.
Yeah.
Besides, and besides the point is, Prabhu, we don't have enough time to remember Krishna.
Yeah.
Why should we be
Yeah.
thinking about this politician or that politician?
No, I was just thinking in terms of, I was just hearing Guru Maharaj's lecture and was talking about
Hmm.
this, that if somebody is
Huh.
doing wrong and you don't oppose them, then you're also privy to that karma. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking along those lines.
Yeah. But, here, like, for example, let's take the case of India itself. We have two people who plan to be the prime minister, who want to be. Who will you support, really? None of them wants to stop animal slaughter. None of them wants to stop this unnecessary military expansion. No one stops gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. So who can we actually support? One claims to be very educated, the other one claims to be some dharma protector, Vishwaguru or some But all are nonsense. Both are nonsense, really. Yeah, I understand some devotees are very particular. Oh, we have to, we are Indians. We should do India. We should save India, Bharatvarsh, Dharma. All that is nonsense understanding, because they don't study Prabhupada's books.
Yeah.
I mean, in today's age, all the politicians, they are even worse than Duryodhan. Duryodhan, Karna, at least they had some understanding of Dharma. So yes, someone else has any question?
Hare Krishna. I have a question about this, a little bit like about karma also. That how is it then if we are doing like some work, for example, some in the social field, or where we are helping people, and naturally there will come some reactions. So how does it work if we are doing as a duty, and then we still, like, as our best, we try to work in Krishna consciousness, but then, like, because I don't know, in generally it's explained that if we do something good, some good reactions will come out of it, some bias activities, or if we do something bad, then some bad actions reactions will come. So how does it work then within our, like, professional lives?
Hmm. So Krishna has already answered this question. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phal heturбhur mate sangostva karmani. You have a right to do your duty. So do it as your duty, indifferently, and dedicate the fruits to Krishna. So practically speaking, like for all those who are professionals, first of all, do not be proud of your profession. Oh, I am so intelligent. I can do this. I am so capable. No. This Prakriti Kriyamanani Guna Karmani Sarvasha. So this is coming from Krishna only. Prakriti only is doing everything. That is one thing. Also, you should remember, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Mattah Smritir Jnanam Apohanancha. So if you're thinking, oh, you are a brilliant sociologist, brilliant engineer, brilliant doctor, no, it's Krishna's wish. Krishna is giving that memory, that knowledge. So that's one thing. Now, other thing is, practically speaking, how do we dedicate to Krishna? Now, so as far as possible, all the result of all your actions should be in the service of Krishna. You are working as a professional so that you can earn some money and have a peaceful life. But then that life itself should be dedicated to Krishna.
Yes.
Your free time should be dedicated to making plans for Krishna, for propagating his mission. It should not be that, okay, I'm earning money, now I'll go and take a trip across the world, I'll go on a cruise liner, now I'll enjoy that money. If you do that, then you become responsible. Because Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita only that every action is covered with some fault, just like smoke is covered with fire. So every action will have some fault. So if you try to enjoy the fruits, then you become sinful. Any fruit, any action, it could be even a Brahmana's action is covered with fault. So you should not think that you are the cause of this action. You should, but at the same time, on a from a more practical perspective, understand the scope and background of your work very nicely. Your action should not be based on ignorance, but it should be based on proper understanding. That minimizes the chance of committing sinful activities. So if you act without proper knowledge, you will become sinful. So at least from a mundane perspective, also develop proper knowledge and then act in a minimal possible way and then use the fruits in the service of Krishna.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babaji, one
Yes.
more thing to discuss. This might not relate to what we are discussing today, but from work, sometimes people say, okay, let's collect some money for some gift or whatever. So there was somebody's mother passed away, and collectively we had to support the person whose mother passed away. So we end up all of us giving money, but they ended up giving her wine, meat, all that
Ooh.
stuff that was given to her on her mother passed away. So I was thinking, I even supported that. So how do you put a pause to this? Like, you can't say at work, I don't want to do it. And at the same time, I don't want to do this again if this is what they are supporting.
Okay, now this is a tricky situation and it is certainly sinful.
Mm-hmm.
So what you can do is, because this is just a social relationship,
Mm-hmm.
What you can do is, instead of money, then you can give a consideration. You can maybe give something like, maybe give a bag of grains or something
Mm.
or something.
Mhm.
Say that, this is not ethical. I mean, like, we don't do this.
Yes.
So I can just support it in some other way. So instead
Mm.
of money, I
Mm.
cannot support meat and alcohol. So instead of that, I'll give something else. You give a jar of fruit juice or something or something.
ठीक है ठीक है जी yeah
I mean, you should give it, but give it in such a manner that it benefits the other person.
true ठीक है जी that's a very good idea ठीक है जी thank you so much Prabhu ji Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Now, see, now we are going to discuss something very interesting. This is again coming from Bhagavad Gita, next verse. Yad yad acharati shreyan
Acharate Shreyan.
itaras itaras tat tad ihate.
Itaras
itaras
tat
tat
tad ihate.
tad ihate
Sayat pramanam kurute
sayat
Sayat pramanam
pramanam
kurute.
kurute
lokastat anuvartate.
Lokastat
tat
anuvartate.
anuvartate may I read Prabhu ji
Yes. Yes, please.
thank you ji Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai Translation The mass of people follow the example of a leader in society and imitate his behavior. They accept as evidence whatever the leader accepts. Purport. Although Jamal was not punishable, the Yamdutas were insisting on taking him away to Yamraj for punishment. This was adharma, contrary to religious principles. The Vishnudutas feared that if such irreligious acts were allowed, the management of human society will be spoiled. In modern times, the Christian conscious movement is trying to introduce the right principles of management for human society, but unfortunately, the governments of Kali Yuga do not properly support the Hare Krishna movement because they do not appreciate its valuable service. The Hare Krishna movement is the right movement of ameliorating the fallen condition of human society, and therefore governments and public leaders in every part of the world should support this movement to completely rectify humanity's sinful condition. Thank you, Ji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. So same verse actually is in Bhagavad Gita also, third chapter. Yadyad acharati shreshthas tattad evetaro jana. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. A very important point here actually. See, we become what we follow. We follow, see, that's why we have Guru. We follow in the footsteps of the Guru. Sri Radhika Madhavayo Raparo Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Namna. So when the Guru is constantly engaged in the meditation on the pastimes of Lord Krishna, then naturally the disciples will also follow. Like Prabhupada says, the proof of pudding is in eating. So we can see in general, if the leaders are pure devotees of Krishna, the followers will also become. So it's not that, I may claim that, oh, I am initiated by so and so, I am following so and so, he so and so is my Shiksha Guru. No, formalities aside, who am I really following? That will be seen in my behavior. So if a devotee is rude and obnoxious, using foul language and then materialistic, engaged in nonsense activities, then we can understand that he's not following the spiritual master properly. No spiritual master will ever say that, you should be at the age of 60 also, you should be vacationing with your wife and children and grandchildren. No spiritual master will say that you should be following political parties and this and that, or abusing other devotees. So we can see that even though a person may claim to be a disciple, he's not really. We have to be very careful. See, Shurasya dhara dishita duratyaya, durgam pathas tat kavayo vadanti. In the end, Prabhupada says, no one is responsible for you, not even your spiritual master. In the end, prana prayana samaye kafavata pittau kantava rodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste. So, samprapte sannihita kale nahi nahi rakshati dukran karni. When end time comes, only you can help yourself. Srila Prabhupada explains that in the airport, all the aeroplanes are on the ground and together, and everyone can help everyone else. But once you are in the sky, then no one can do anything. When the time of death comes, no spiritual master. You may say, oh, I am a disciple of so and so Maharaj, and he's the most popular in ISKCON, he's the best spiritual master. It's not going to work. What is your consciousness? These Yamadutas will come and slap, two hard slaps, and everything will be gone. You'll even forget your spiritual master if you don't follow the instructions properly. So having a formality is not going to help. Spiritual master is not a passport. Haribol, I follow so and so Swami. No, it's not going to work. What is your consciousness? At the end, do you think of Krishna? What is your bhavna? Have you thought of Krishna? Do you love Krishna? That is the question you should ask. Or do you love this Janata Party or that Janata Party or this Congress or that Congress? Or do you love Indian cricket team or whatever? That is, see, that's the point. Bhakti means changing our feelings. If the feelings are the same, all our chanting, dancing, and howling is not going to help. We may howl the latest tunes from Bollywood and dance in front of the DTs up and down. It's not going to work. What are we feeling? What do we feel? That is important. So Krishna is saying very clearly, Krishna is explaining this in the Bhagavad Gita. Antakale cha mama eva smaran muktva kalevaram. If you think of me, but what are we thinking of? Politics, India, Pakistan, China, engineering, mathematics, or wife, children. No, that is not going to help. We take the example of Lomash Rishi. He didn't even want to spend any moment, even not even to put on a cloth or even stand inside or sit inside a hut. He didn't want to spend any time at all because one can think of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna is not difficult. Chanting is even easier. But can we feel for Krishna? That's the most important thing. We are chanting and dancing. I'll just give you one small exercise. Think of it this way, and you will naturally know what is your level of advancement. You don't have to ask anyone. You don't have to even read a book to understand this. You know, if you are hit by some trouble, like for example, forget trouble. If you stub your toe, sometimes our toes hit the wall or something. If you hit your toe on a wall and you know that you have that instant flash of pain, what do you think of at that time? What comes out of your mouth? Do you recite Krishna's name? Do you think of Krishna or are you abusing? What are you doing? That is how death is going to be. That is how painful it is going to be. What do you think of at that time? Someone calls you up and says, someone stole your car. What do you think at that time? Are you thinking of Krishna or are you thinking of car? So these are the moments where we can actually test our level of Krishna consciousness instantaneously. So think of it this way, you can judge how far you are in Krishna consciousness. No amount of wearing saris or making YouTube videos is going to help. What we are, we know very well within our heart. Srila Prabhupada says, no one needs to give us a certificate. We know exactly who we are. Hare Krishna. Yes, so but for that you must follow the right leaders. Coming back to this purport, that if we follow irreligious people, we will become irreligious. Then it doesn't matter who the person is or what is his caliber. In fact, the religiosity of a person should also be judged by the results of his actions. Not even the actions themselves, by the results of his actions. What is the intention? Why is he doing this? So if you think like this, you are guided by dharma. Don't be guided by sentiment. I know many disciples whose gurus fell down twice or thrice and then they were there. What to do now? Just recently, I met one person. His Guru Maharaj was caught chatting with a cabaret dancer, and then the Guru Maharaj promptly resigned. So, what is the use of such initiation? So, initiation means your heart should transform. You should only think of Krishna and nothing else. So, you see, these are very serious subject matters. Now, we are not trying to make some political statements or creating some agitation. This is a very serious subject matter. So spiritual life is very, very serious matter. If you don't take it seriously, in your next life, you are not going to get it. Prabhupada explains this in the third chapter of Gita itself. Sixth chapter, Prabhupada explains this, that if you're not serious in bhakti, Krishna will take it away. Next birth, you will not even remember Krishna. That's it, gone, completely erased. It's not a question of what we have done, chanting or dancing or howling. No, once we have come into this movement, we should take it very seriously. We should make at least a serious effort to get out of material world in this birth. If we don't do this, we don't know how many births. Yes, we will remember Krishna eventually, statistically. Every living entity will go back to Godhead, statistically. But we don't know how many births. Prabhupada once said crores of births. So it's your decision. Hare Krishna. Yes. Any questions or comments? Okay, then we stop here today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Right.
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.